So, fiery perfection bow. What's the last thing you remember about last session?
The last thing I remember about last session was being awakened to be told that I had to come right away because my father was under arrest for poisoning Lord Aoshi, who has like slipped into a coma and cannot be awakened or something like that.
Yes, that's about right. Something like that. So, um, what do you do?
I mean, first we've got entanglements.
Oh, right.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
That's a good point. Thank you, Bill. I forget that every time. Yeah, and I
So
would definitely go ahead.
Val wakes up, looks at his entanglements list, and is like, which of these is spicier?
And I would definitely point out that
Oh, I never did my level up either, but that's okay.
I would definitely also say not just picking your entanglements, but also re-gearing your entanglements so much as they, like your general entanglement with your father probably has a different spin on it, or could easily
Well,
have like a
I do have. Oh, excuse me, that's with Zeman. Right.
I must recruit Sky Daughter Shoe's help with helping my father, as she is a member of the court or something like that.
That's not a bond.
It's absolutely a bond. It doesn't have to be a bond. It's an
Excuse me, that's
entanglement.
an entanglement. I'm sorry, I was looking at the bonds.
Yeah.
Entanglements. Um,
Again, NPC, PC, non-romantic. All it has to be is a triangle.
right. Um,
That may not be the appropriate way to reword it, but these things evolve.
no, I understand.
And I think we're getting to the point. I'm just going to open this door. I'm not saying anybody has to do it, but if it ends up where there's a triangle that just makes more sense for it to be two PCs for a while, fine. If there's a bond, we have, I think, a good enough picture, at least with some of the NPCs, that if the triangle happens to be two NPCs, also fine. Just remembering that then leaves it on you a little bit for the heavy lifting of involving the PCs in that. So if you have a triangle that's like Li and Hui Gong in some weird way or something, that's fine. It's just you got to, reach out and grab some other people and, get them in there or whatever.
I think if I was going to redo this, what I'd probably do is flip it on its head, so as to say, I need to recruit the troublemaker's son to help get my father Zhang out of trouble.
Works for me. There are strings lying all over the place attached to people. By all means, grab whichever ones you want and yank. I must go hat in hand to Five Coin Zemin to solicit his assistance with my father.
What is what are Zeman's entanglements?
I think you can see them. I set everybody up to be able to see them because I think it's just.
I am in the midst of changing some of them.
Okay.
Well, actually, I changed one, but I still have the one where Shu believes what I do is evil, and they begin to make my friend two-handed G question my action. I don't think I'm going to change that one.
Okay.
For this session, because I feel like that might come up.
One or the other of them, very likely.
Yep.
Very likely. I'm just giving you guys time to.
I'm good.
You good? Is anybody else still working on their entanglement?
I'm going for my chosen general. I chose my general one, which is I'm still working with 5.0, and I'll see how things change after this session.
Cool. Yeah, and I think it's regardless of whatever else is going on in this crazy madhouse. James, are you doing anything with yours or no?
No, I'm keeping mine as is for the moment. I'm going with my general entanglement. The two-handed G is my rival who's sworn to kill me, but I promised Shu not to harm them. Because I need to end up in conflict with him eventually, and there are probably enough people running around it might happen this time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's lots of actually, yeah. That's not gonna be hard at all. Okay. Everyone else well sorted? Dave?
I think so.
Okay. People over here, or we can even go back over to this one if we haven't seen that. We haven't seen this in a while. I should start pulling in the little faces and stuff on top of these just for the sake of whatever. But in any case, so bow.
That's what I actually just had up. I'm like.
What the map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like looking at it, it's like, okay.
Start putting faces next to names as I scroll down through these. So Bao, what you doing? What going on?
I'm trying to remember who it was who came and roused me from my sleep.
It was
a.
It was one of the kitchen staff, like one of the prep chefs or something like that.
Well, I definitely need to then, splash some, head for the door, stop, turn around, splash some water on my face from the bowl of water on a bureau, step towards the door, stop, try to brush the wrinkles out of my clothing.
Right.
Since I basically kind of crashed on the bed there overnight, and then head out the door, headed for the kitchen to try to see what the hell's going on.
There's a bit of hesitation from the kitchen servant. Like they want to say something, they're not sure if they should. I don't know if you want to do anything about that. I'm just mentioning it if it's
So Lord Aoshi has fallen ill. Why do they think it's my father?
Because there's no reason for it, and because the supposition is poison, and of course that falls to the kitchen staff. But we are all in danger, of course. We're all potentially. It's possible that any of us might be blamed or could even be responsible, including you, sir.
Yes.
Are you sure you?
I never got anywhere near Lord Aoshi last night. Who was? What food did Lord Aoshi eat?
He sampled from the food courts when he emerged from the ritual. I could get a list. We know there was some talk on the kitchen amongst the kitchen staff as to which dishes he sampled and commented on. We were bragging at the time about which ones he preferred or did not seem to prefer, and I could get a list.
Get a list. Yes, get a list. That makes perfect sense. Especially have a sec.
Especially since
there.
If you guys have I never did quite figure out what you were doing, but if you know how to eject your icon out onto the board here, feel free to do that.
Oh, I don't know that we.
Somebody did it last time. They were like putting themselves.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Except I can't resize it.
I can just leave it to me.
Thank you.
I don't know why you can't, but
it's what Roll20 restricts a lot of what players can do, which I'm only discovering now as a GM, discovering that you can't do that to your thing. That's like crazy. Like the game that I was playing that I was mentioning the boards.
Yeah.
Uses cards, right? So and that's great. That's perfect. Except that while a player can take a card or flip a card, they can't move a card up or down. So if they're trying to arrange cards in front of them, they can't say, I want this card to be on top of that card. They have to have the GM do that for them.
And I get it, I guess, because
I'm sure there's places where that would be problematic.
Oh, I'm sure it's all about D20. It's all about 5e. There's 3,500 games of 5e going on there, and I'm sure it's about controlling the what you can do with the miniatures and stuff. I mean, I have no doubt about that.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, you wouldn't want somebody to say, "Hey, I'm gonna make my character, my token big on the map." Okay.
Yeah,
well,
or move it without something going on or.
Shoot, and I lost my. There's no character sheet.
Yeah,
If you could still line when you get a chance, that'd be great.
I will.
I thought I had.
Just gonna leave it huge over top of your null name there. And rawr.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back to. There we go. There's the monkey spreadsheet. I thought I had something that. Yes, that's what's not on the character sheet.
What isn't?
I'm missing it. The move.
The actual character moves?
Yeah.
You'd want to look in the journal and under the handouts, the basic moves.
Even the list of what moves one has, are those on there somewhere?
On your character sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my Roll20 character sheet. Where am I looking for them that I'm not seeing them? Or
Are you in the character sheet tab?
Yeah, I'm on the character sheet tab. I see. So, for example, when I look at when I go back to the old spreadsheet, I've got 5 deadly venoms.
Right. Everybody else's is there.
Move.
I don't know why yours isn't there, Dave. Everybody else's is there.
Okay.
I don't know why yours isn't there. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was afraid that I was not looking in the right place.
No, it should be. It's dead center in the middle of the It should be dead center in the middle of the character sheet.
Okay,
And
well,
they're
I
not
will.
there.
It looks like there's an add and modify button
Yes.
there, so maybe I will go ahead and add them in. Okay, got it. I
Put
can,
them
I can, do, I can do that part. In the meantime, because it suddenly occurs to me, I was
Yeah.
going like, oh, poison. Don't I have something for that? Yes, I can spot poisons.
Can you? Can you?
I can. I have the 5 deadly venoms move. I can immediately spot and identify any kind of poison or potion before it's consumed in my presence. And if someone has been poisoned, I have +1 forward to treat and heal them with overcome.
Nice. The move here would seem to be get to I'm going to the kitchen. Bring me all the dishes that were served to Lord Aoshi, so that I may inspect them,
Yes.
etc., etc.
Right. So I do that. I make that urgent request. We are all
Okay.
given away to the peasants. Your father insisted upon it.
Half the town's in a coma now. Only the ones that ate the chicken.
But I didn't have the 7 moose.
You can't check steak and chicken. It's one or the other. Anyway, this is the problem with not having it in there. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Does it just happen, or is it a roll thing? I feel like a lot of those
It's not a real roll thing. Here, I will put it in the chat.
as you are frantically doing stuff. 5 deadly venoms, immediately spot, identify any kind of poison or potion before it's consumed in your presence. I like how it very specifically says before it's consumed in your presence. If someone's been poisoned, you have +1 forward to treat and heal them with overcome. Interesting. Lovely.
Right.
Awesome.
If we'd been at a banquet, in theory, I would have been able to spot it, but I was off.
All right.
Shadowy nook.
So you stomp off in a rush to the kitchens. 5 coin. Where do you wake up?
You see, I've impressed upon a local innkeeper that I needed a room, and my family would be very appreciative if they could just, rent me a room for several weeks, and then we would send payment.
I see. So you're back out in the town then? Is that accurate?
Yeah, because I figure that would also probably be where, like, Silent Sun and Penguin would be.
Excellent. I'm sure.
And I figure a breakfast conferring with those two on what's going on might be a great scene.
Yeah. Are you other two folk amenable to just beginning with like the common room in the inn, like
Yeah.
thing? I like
Yeah.
framing that in there like that.
Yeah.
Who's up first? Who would have been like in there? Well, you know what? We kind of have to rotate this around Zeman a little bit because he's the one who knows the both of you.
Yeah.
So you might have both been somewhere down there, but it isn't until Zeman arrives really and waves you both in that you're sort of essentially brought into each other's presence officially. So a table, rice, pickles, I don't know, breakfast stuff is ordered and set to. Whether or not you guys know about any of this is entirely up to you. I mean, right now it's the only thing that's obvious is that it's boiling around the court. So you guys could be talking about other equally important stuff. So have at thee.
Yep. So I think after the introductions are made, it's just going to be like, Zeman is going to well, first of all, Bill, Silent Sun, okay, bringing Penguin into the confidence of the whole thing. Not like, Silent Sun is the missing husband, more just that, this is what we're working on.
I mean, Silent Sun gave Zeman a lot of leeway on how to handle this. Basically, he just showed up and said, I'm going to threaten you if you don't solve this problem for me. So whatever you do to do that is great. I'm good with that.
That's perfectly fine. Okay, then, he's so Zeman's basically going to go over what happened with Lady Suning last night, and basically our plans to have Suwin's husband declared dead through some chicanery.
That's a good word for that, yeah.
And obviously, we know this not to be the truth, and our best ally in all of this is Lady Ling, because she fucking hates that lady.
Fair. And from what I think, in context, based on, I'll say this to Peng, so he kind of owns this information, but based on who was talking to who and stuff like that, it would appear that Suning has acquired assistance, whether it's support or just whatever, from the Imperial Magistrate and from the abbot. So that's a thing. And it doesn't take a. Oh, I mean, there's probably a study move there to figure out who's saying what about what, or how they could be helping and stuff like that. But I think what Peng was able to ascertain last time is that those two are definitely involved in some way, shape, or form, for sure.
I hope Pangolin tells me that the abbot's involved in all this.
You want to fight the abbot?
Yes, I have to take that man down.
You do?
Yes.
This is news to me. Is that part of one of your entanglements and I missed it?
No,
You
I just
want
made
to?
that up because it sounds great.
I do. I mean, if you're gonna pick a person not to like, for you, it certainly seems like the abbot would be a good
Yeah.
pick.
Obvious choice.
I even have reasons now to back it up. I literally just made them up. So
I have reasons. What are they? Give me a minute.
he shushed me once, and when I didn't shut up, he hit me in the face.
Unconscionable. Some people would actually like him a little bit better for that reason, but I think I've got most of the face. I've got lovely. All right. So what's the plan then? What's the next move?
Well, son, this is your radio, but I mean, if you need someplace to go, I can go get us to talk to Lady Kailing.
I think that would be an excellent idea. We should meet.
All right, awesome. Let's go to the castle. Nothing bad ever has happened there.
Are you everybody going with and just kind of spread out once you get there, kind of thing, or no? Actually, let me back up a step. If everyone's amenable to that, we can move along to that bit. But my question then is, 5 coins, Emin. What's the thing about being able to get into places? Talk to me about that.
Let's see. It's one of my moves. It says you can slip from bonds and pass through locked doors and windows as if they were open. This extends to attack and defense. Your body moves so elegantly as not to wrinkle your outfit or spill your wine.
Nice.
So I just take that to mean like
I did
under normal conditions, I just don't look disheveled.
Right, which is fine. Slip from bonds and pass through locked doors and windows as if they were open. This extends to attack and defense. Your body moves out, not to wrinkle your outfit. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna come out of a fight looking. If you ever do get properly hurt, it's gonna be quite shocking because nobody ever sees Zemin disheveled. I didn't specifically aim for this loophole, but there is a bit of a loophole in the wording of that because that's locked doors and windows. And the problem that you have is at the castle, there are guards and they politely but quite firmly inform you that no one is allowed in the castle this morning under order of the Lord himself.
Oh no, you know me. I'm here to see Kungulan and his brother.
No one in or out, sir.
No. Trust me on this one. I have the permission.
No one has permission, sir. We're not even allowed in other lords. No one is allowed in or out at this time by the direct order of the Lord.
Nope. Coming in.
Tell me how, because they are. This is kind of fall on your sword orders.
For
these guys. Which isn't to say you can't get in. You just.
Oh no. Because my roll move. When you would suffer social, legal, or financial consequences, name someone else and roll. On a hit, they suffer instead.
Okay.
Kungulan's ship is already sinking. Might as well throw in some water.
Oh my god.
Damn.
No, I'm doing the exact opposite of that.
I mean, I guess. Okay. I mean, I gotta squint at that one. I was expecting you just to like go someplace else and get in the castle someplace where there isn't a guard, but that works. Okay, so when you would suffer a roll on a hit, they suffer instead. Okay, so yeah, I guess. What do you? Because you could probably lean super heavily on Gunlan.
That's the plan.
What are you like? Okay, so yeah, it's just a matter of roll. So what's the element that this is? I'm gonna go.
We're going fire.
I was gonna say I'm gonna vote strongly against Earth. Caution doesn't seem like the thing. Creativity, speed, and passion.
I think I got it.
Oh my god, look at that roll. Double freaking boxcars. Okay. Travel from place to place.
No, you're letting me in.
Better. Okay. When you would suffer socially, they suffer instead. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. So the one guy is being quite adamant about the situation and the order of the Lord, and somebody else, the other guard, like that's stationed right there, she comes over and kind of leans in and says something. It's like, Ooh, they say something. Does anybody try to hear what they're saying to each other? Because this is probably something like a study to get this.
I'll throw those dice.
Okay,
Water says awareness.
I think that's
Well,
perfectly fine.
all right.
I love the visual shot that I have because you're with the hat down low, but we see the shot of the ear, the side shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just like that.
All right, that's a 9.
That is a 9. Okay, looking at the move so I don't get it wrong. Study on a hit, you gain basic information. On 7-9, gain one of the questions below. The basic information is that they are urging. Well, the line is, it would be best not to anger the young lord if he inherits the castle, if he is soon to be the one in command, is what you hear her say to the other guard.
Okay.
And you have a question there, or an option. I shouldn't say question because the last one's not really a question.
It says ask any other question. I'm going to ask, have they let anyone else in? And the way that we might know this is how reluctant they were to buy this excuse, how ready they were to go ahead with it, their body language, their facial expressions, and then was pitching this idea.
Okay. Are you actually asking them, or are you just trying to figure out
Oh,
if
no.
they've?
I'm just trying to figure it out.
They have not let. This is the first time that they've let anybody in since they were given the orders.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'll throw in for free. There's definitely tension in the castle. Any one of you would pick up on this. The guards are on edge, but at the same time, at least these ones here at the gate don't want to make a misstep in terms of the politics of the place. But everyone's looking a little scared. Everyone's looking a little bit nervous. Everyone's looking a little bit tense. Sky Daughter Shoe, where does your morning begin?
Oh, God. You will not believe what my brother did. So he was
There was some drinking.
so pissed at me. First about my embarrassing display of swordsmanship, and second,
I mean, it
about
wasn't terrible. It was
look.
quite striking. That's why Kui
Yeah.
Gong was so struck.
Yeah, my brother's not struck. My brother had 10 minutes solid of critique, and then he went into in detailed descriptions of how I suck. So first,
Lovely.
I have to listen to my brother tell me about all the things I did wrong that I know I did. Then after that, I get he decided I shouldn't go back to my room that night and should therefore stay with him, practice for 3 hours, and then sleep on his couch.
So sore, probably bruised, hungover a bit. That headache right between the eyebrows.
Yes.
That is somehow dry, like a dry. I don't know how those words go together, but it feels like a dry headache. You're on. So he is the
Weapons master.
He's the weapon. He's the trainer for the militia and everything like that, right? Okay. So we'll loop back to here, and I've got the name wrong. I changed the name on this person to Ushi, but fairly well, god awful early in the morning actually. Just put that over the name so we don't see it. This woman shows up banging on the door of G's place. Quite a striking woman. Big. She's 6'3" if she's an inch. Yeah. So G comes out and she kind of grabs him by the shirt and pulls him out into the front of the house, and there's a hurried, intense conversation. And then he comes back in, grabs all of his stuff, like his weapons and stuff, which he wasn't even carrying last night, but his big two-hander in hand, his official tunic, that kind of stuff. I don't know if he even honestly says anything. No, he stops. If he sees that you're even kind of awake, I think you'll want to stay clear of the castle today, little sister, and clean up. And then he closes the door or leaves and closes the door behind him. What do you do?
Well,
Something's amiss. And again, you could have a study roll or something would bring you into would possibly
how unusual this is.
if you were so inclined to try to catch what they're talking about so intently outside, it's not
Oh,
much to pop up off the couch and slip over near the window and listen, and then throw yourself back on the couch when he comes before he comes back in.
oh yeah, why not?
Eavesdrop on the big brother. I mean, that's it's practically automatic.
It's practically required.
Uh,
Uh,
element.
I'm gonna go with Earth.
Okay. Caution.
Precaution and focus.
I like it. Let's see what we got. A 9. All right. Basic thing that you get out of this is, and again, I referred to the basic moves because you've got an option there that you can pick. Ushi is doing most of the talking to Ji. What you catch by the time you get over there is, and I'm going to flip back over to the organization chart here and ping this, so you might want to be looking at it. Feng's ordered no one in and out of the castle. You need to grab your most reliable people and get them up to the gate to reinforce whatever castle guards are currently sitting there. Realize this, layers.
So I'm sorry, who was it that ordered the lockdown?
Crescent Sword Feng,
Okay.
who's the commander of Daoyan, which is one of the other major villages, one of the sort of the 5 main villages. He is he has no sense of humor that anyone's aware of. He is the person that has made it easier for Lord Aoshi to deal with some of the more difficult and unpleasant choices that a lord has to make.
Okay.
When the lord has to make an unpleasant choice and make sure that unpleasant thing happens, Feng's the guy who gets it done, and he's probably the one that was arguing for it in closed council.
Got it.
And according to Ushi, he's the one that ordered nobody in or out.
Okay.
Not that you heard any different, but other people sitting at the table have. So, and I heard a beep. What did I hear a beep for?
To be fair, we heard that the Lord, and he is technically a Lord.
Well, the message from the guards was like by the Lord. That's the Lord of the castle. Technically, Feng isn't a lord. He's a commander.
Right.
He's
issuing orders, maybe in the name of.
He absolutely came down and said, "By the Lord of Aoshi, no one in or out."
Yeah.
And he's the kind of person that nobody really sits around. Now, is it technically an order from the Lord, or are you just saying that nobody's going to say that to him?
Right.
Zemin might say that to him. Nobody else. All right. So what do you do? Because apparently Feng came out and decided to put the castle on lockdown. Super fun. Nothing good. That doesn't indicate anything good.
Right. Well, and not only that, but Suen is staying in the castle.
Correct. Yeah, they have it like they're in one of the. For my South Dakota boy hears the word outbuilding and just kind of thinks barn, but
the barn. No.
one of the outer buildings of the castle.
Think of it as one of the guest houses.
Yeah, the guest house out here. This is why I grouped them over.
I think that'll help you.
Here, let me. Here, they're over at one. They're like over here. They're not in the main area, but they're definitely at the castle.
Got it.
So, what you gonna do?
Okay. Well, that wakes me up. I'm going to, quickly bathe, probably in cold water because
that's how G does it.
Yeah.
There's a rain barrel in the back in the practice yard behind the house. Perfectly fine for me.
So I will do that. Do I have any clothes at my brother's place or in the practice room?
I mean, I'll mention that little figure that I made for you isn't like in court dress. It's definitely more like fighting clothes. You might have something like that. Did your brother end up inheriting your parents' place? Because if so, yes, but they're going to be like stuff from a year ago in your old room or something. Or do you still stay here? Is it still like, are you both still staying at your parents' home when you're not at the court? And you just happen to end up on the couch because you just didn't make it to your room. It's up to you.
I was actually thinking that my brother actually had quarters in the practice yard. So I don't know if that's inside of the castle.
He'd be like
proper or if it's...
Oh yeah, no. This is the militia. He doesn't train the castle guards. He trains the militia for the technically for the various villages because he'll move around. There's some towns he doesn't really need to go. Like Crescent Sword's place, it's all guards. Crescent Sword doesn't recruit peasant militia. He's above that.
Right.
Manjun absolutely does that. He's got he officially has like something like 3 actual guards and everything else is the peasant militia. And so two-handed G is there quite a bit, and so he travels around. He tends to focus on this town. So yeah, his quarters could easily be like basically the captain's quarters on a ship. The captain's quarters, the
Right.
commander's quarters for the militia. So he's at like honestly, if you think about Avatar of the Last Airbender, the place where they show up to like learn airbending from the idiot, where it's
Right.
basically like come in the front gate and there's a big open square area and then there's kind of buildings around that. Like that's probably where
Yeah.
he's at.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I pictured it as
Gotcha. All right.
it's sort of I mean we would consider it a dojo in some ways, but what it
Sure.
really is a more official,
And
you
you're
know,
drilling militia, so you want the
half
open out.
barracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's barracks there for the people that are being brought in from elsewhere.
But
But
you want
it's
the open yard
not
for drilling
courtly.
militia. Yeah, no, not yeah, it's a
So yeah, so that's where I ended up because that's where my brother dragged me. I'm
probably.
assuming it's closer to the castle than where my parents actually don't live in the city. They live out a little out a little ways.
Okay. So yeah, it's probably it's not super close because it is still down in the village. It is village militia, but he's probably on the castle side of that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm normally actually in the castle. I have,
oh, in that
quarters
case,
with the
yeah,
ladies
they're probably given where this is and stuff. Yeah, there's pretty low odds there's something here, at least in his quarters, that you'd be able to make use of. He's bigger
Yeah.
than you, and
Yeah, and then I'm thinking that the only thing I might have there would be if I had kind of student robes down there, but that's not going to be much better than wearing last night's dress
No,
gowns.
not at
So
all.
I will do my best to clean up what I was wearing. I will. So if it's traditional Chinese, then there may be multiple layers of kimono.
Sure.
So I might like not wear the outer layer so it doesn't look so much like wearing last night's dress.
Right.
Um,
If the
and
situation has
then,
gotten serious, not a lot of people are going to be judging you on. You're not well. And if you can get to your rooms there, you can do a quick change and probably get things more in order.
yeah, I'm actually looking to find if I feel like I'm decent enough, I'm looking to find Sister Jian, the Buddhist nun.
That wouldn't actually be going to the castle immediately. That would be
Yep.
going to the temple, so that's totally fine.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
Okay. You do have a question or an option there off that study list that you can go to if
Yeah,
you're
so
so
then you
inclined.
made me drop it real quick because you wanted me to see the other. Hang on.
Right.
Um,
You can hold that, but I mean, if I was you're not headed that way, but I was thinking, I'm going to declare that there's a way into the castle that the courtiers know that probably isn't guarded by guards right now, so I can get in. That
That's
kind of a
right.
thing. Yeah, that's legit. Or if there is a guard there.
So I will maybe I'll use that reveal a detail to
Okay.
declare that.
Well, yeah,
But
save it. It's fine. You got it for
okay.
getting nowhere. All right, so we're gonna head to Sister Jen. We can go to Sister Jen. The temple is quite quiet right now. And the best way I can explain her body language when she sees you, because she's working with, of course, she's working with like some of the local village folk, mostly the kids and stuff. She has them working in like the temple garden, like
Right.
weeding. She's got a little thing. She's got like a basket of treats actually from last night's festivities, some sort of sweet treats or something like that. She has them in a basket, and as you walk up, you can figure out what she's done is she's broken them down into quite small pieces, and there's a big basket next to her where the kids are bringing in and depositing weeds, and every weed that they bring in, she gives them a bit of candy.
Huh.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, doesn't it?
And my parents one time made the mistake of having it a price per grocery bag of weed. And so my brother and I went out into the orchard and just pulled up 2 or 3 of the biggest friggin' weeds we could find and put them in a bag.
Nice.
Is that why I was paid by the head?
But you were paid by the dandelion head, yes.
Yeah. We stole that move one time when we were being like parental volunteers and stuff for a trip down to the museum with some third graders, and good behavior got Jolly Ranchers, but That doesn't work nearly as well when the kids have to be turned back over to the teacher still at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with an hour and a half more to go in the day.
All sugared up.
They were practically out of focus. They were vibrating
You're
so
vibrating.
fast. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what she's doing, and she sees you. And the best way I can explain the body language when she calls over one of the older girls and puts them in charge of the basket and stuff, and there's a little bit of an admonition of like one per, and don't take it easy on your little brother, that kind of thing. And she comes over and watching the show that this is in my head, the body language is the body language of somebody who knows the thing and thinks that you might know the thing, but doesn't want to say, do you know the thing? Because that would then tell you about the thing that you don't know if you don't know.
Ah.
You know what I mean? Like, do I mention about the boat catching fire and sinking last night? Because I don't want to be the first one who tells you, but if you already know, God, I want to talk about it. That kind of body language.
Yeah.
So she comes over and says, Sky Daughter Shu, it's pleasant to see you. How was your evening? How was the rest of your evening? Did you stay at the castle in your quarters, or
no,
I saw you exiting with your brother. I didn't know if you'd returned last evening.
No, milady, I have not been back to the castle. I'm not sure if they will let me in if I do go. I kind of, is there a place where we normally sort of like, sit and have tea?
Oh, there's absolutely a place where you can get a bit of,
yeah,
there's absolutely a way you guys can get a bit of privacy. That's, just, the only people around are the kids, and they're making noise and shouting and jockeying for candy position and stuff like that. So
I sort of nod my head towards where we normally, sit in an alcove that views the garden.
Yes.
Do you have a few minutes? I don't want to interrupt your day.
No, not at all. I was left in charge when the abbot was called to the castle early this morning.
As was my brother.
I see.
Which is why you see me up at this.
Don't say godforsaken.
Delightful hour.
Indeed. Did your brother say why he was called to the castle?
Well, I understand that the castle is closed to anyone at this point.
Yes, as I understand it, the abbot being summoned was the only summoning that has taken place aside from your brother apparently to the castle. Did you hear why he was brought to the castle? Because she seems honestly, legitimately kind of confused about that part. Like,
actually, so just to put you in place here. I'm not at all curious about what's going on at the castle.
Okay.
I am like in my head about everything that happened last night.
Gotcha. That's fine.
So her answers
you will have to steer.
Sound vague, but really it's more along the lines of.
You'll need to steer her a little bit because she is intensely curious about what's going on at the castle.
Right. I'll just say, I don't know. They ran off to, support the lockdown. That's all I know.
A lockdown.
I really haven't.
I see.
Well,
do you think a member of the royal family was something is wrong? One of the sons? I mean, no one really saw Gunlun last night. Do you think he fell ill?
You
are once again confronted by the fact that when given her option and free reign about gossiping about the court, she almost invariably asks about Gunlun. That is her reference point for all things.
Interesting.
That is accurate, James. Yes. Gunlun does not party, is not seen. Is he sick? I mean, possibly. I get the impression that you have other things on your mind.
I must confess.
What a sigh. What a sigh.
Well, I must confess that I am fluxumed. I thought that my life was simple and that I had seen my place in things, and I find more and more that I'm being pulled, by just by love, by duty, by I don't know what. And I just don't know what I should be doing right now. I don't know what I should feel. I'm just a teenager who has no clue what they're actually feeling or doing or should be doing or saying.
Completely in
my brother
character.
did last night?
What's
Do you know
that?
what he did? Do you know what my brother did last night? He pulled me away from that party and made me practice swordplay for 3 hours before sending me to bed.
Why practice swordplay?
I'm ashamed to say that I was called upon to, I don't want to say battle, that's not the right word.
Duel?
Demonstrate.
About, challenge, to a bout that I couldn't get out of.
With
And
with
it was the second son, right?
Huigong, yes.
Oh, yeah, he won. And I did not live up to my brother's expectation and disappointed myself. I lost my balance at an inopportune time, and well, it was very embarrassing.
Did she? Did
I,
he?
I
Did he order you away from him after this bout?
no, I mean, because I'm trying to remember back. I mean,
He actually declared that you were his new bodyguard.
After he caught you from
yes,
falling.
Huigon did, but
Yeah,
my
Huigon.
brother, like the he's here.
So the conversation was like, no.
Huigon,
No, Huigong told me that I was going to be his new bodyguard, but my brother was extremely upset with my performance.
right? Well, and Huigon just immediately left, right at that point. So I think she was probably too embarrassed and unobservant to actually notice the look.
Sister Jian looks like she's doing sums in her head for a minute, and her fingers actually move a little bit in the air, and she goes, "It can be." She nods as though she understands, and puts her hand on yours and says, "It can be very upsetting when someone of such a noble station expresses romantic interest unexpectedly toward you."
Oh,
And that's when
no.
you begin the protest, and then the penny drops from about 20 stories up right into your forehead.
But
She just raises an eyebrow, as in, "Oh no."
and then I totally collapsed.
And we're gonna
myself,
and we're
I'm gonna give you a closing shot
yeah.
and look at her and say, "Oh, what am I going to do?" And cut.
And cut. Dave, how does Bao test for poison? Does he just eat stuff? Are you the world's best poison taster?
No, I'm not the world's best poison. Well, it's actually
Very few poisons are enough.
Aromatic.
Given the stuff that you've tested for like most powerful peppers, very few things could probably lay you out.
So
Until you're talking
again, kind of
serious assassin's poison.
leaning into that, serious but kind of overblown, humorous kind of thing. He'll look, and as he scans across the table, his eyebrows raise, his eyes dart back and forth, his brow furrows. He leans over, picks up something, sniffs it, sniffs it again, a little bit closer, sniffs it again, pushes it away, looks at something else. He narrows in on some things. He like maybe dips the tip of a finger gingerly into a sauce.
Why am I thinking that he should be doing a ratatouille instead?
I just
waves it in front of his tongue
Poison. Good poison.
to see if he senses anything, sniffs at it, looks at it, sniffs at it again, takes the daintiest of tastes.
Yeah.
Yes, like that.
I can't help but think of just Hunk and how someone who is really not a very serious character takes food so seriously in the Voltron series.
Well, yes.
But yeah, it's very easy for me to envision what you're describing, really, which is.
And you're not even getting the visuals as I'm doing it, so.
Yeah, but yeah, I can totally see as you're creeping along the table, and they put in that sound effect of Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo tiptoeing.
Even listening, stirring with a chopstick, listening to it drip into the plate.
You say that, but I've actually had times where I'm like, what is that noise? And I'm like hunting around my room, and I realize it's the bubbles inside the soda can that's sitting on my desk. So annoying. Anyway, right. None of the food's poisoned. Undercooked. Undercooked in one case, but it was beef, so it shouldn't matter. But yeah, definitely not poisoned.
Who here cooked the beef?
Just this
Yeah,
one of the people in the kitchen staff just everybody takes a step away from the guy, just and his hand goes up and it's just shaking like his skeleton is about to hatch. Like he's pale as a sheet. Looks like he's gonna pass out.
It was a little undercooked. I need to go see. I need to look at Lord Aoshi.
And now everybody kind of drops a couple shades in color because the idea that you're just going to go see Lord Aoshi is, well, sir, I'm not sure that they'll let you. I mean, you're the son of Master Zhang.
Exactly. Who has a greater stake in seeing the Lord and seeing what he can do to deal with this horrible situation?
We just established, the stake wasn't that great. You just.
Plus,
oh my God,
I feel like I need to apologize for Dad for the beef.
The bow is practically to the floor with this guy, like just absolute, just absolute shame. A shame. Dishonor on you, dishonor on this poorly cooked cow.
Dishonor on your cow, which you cooked very, very poorly.
Very, very poorly. Yeah.
The spirit of the cow cries out.
Moo.
You need to learn kind of what the right springiness is of the meat while it's grilling. Even if you burn your fingers a little bit, that's okay. That's how you learn.
All right. But anyway, you're gonna go see. All right. Well, more power to you. But yeah, let's see how that initially shakes out there. Let's get you toward. All right. So the move in I feel like because there's. Oh boy. All right, so you're heading for Lord Aoshi's like chambers, basically? Is that the idea?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm in like full professional mode here.
Yeah.
Obviously concerned about my father and what's going on with him, but the clear thing to me is I may be the best place to be able to help Lord Aoshi. So I need to go see him. And since
apologize about the beef.
Well, once he comes to, I will mention that.
That's hilarious. Okay, so Okay, so the hallways leading to Lord Aoshi's chamber are chock-a-block with guards. And in a couple places, like side rooms and stuff, whispering courtiers, various folk of that nature, that sort of deal. You're blocked sort of within sight of the doors of his chamber, but like down at the other end of the hall, leading up to the room or something like that. But you're blocked there, and there's more guards further down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the Ratatouille thing.
Yes.
That's funny. What do you do here? I feel like there's.
I am Lung Bao. I am the son of Zheng Bao. I need to see Lord Aoshi to deal with the poison that has been administered to him.
No one is to go in. No one is to see the Lord at this time.
If you don't let me see him, I can't help him, and he may die. Do you want that on your shoulders?
You are the son of the man who's been accused of poisoning him. You cannot be allowed to see the Lord.
And he taught me everything he knows about poisoning. That's why I need to see the Lord.
You're saying that he knows about poison?
Every cook knows about poison, if they're a decent cook.
I can't decide. I throw this up a little bit to the group here. I can't decide if this is an overcome or an impress, where you're trying to, on it, you impress and convince, like it says. You impress and convince them. I can't decide.
Go for impress, and if it fails badly, then his, of course, I know about poisons thing is
yes, right.
Yes, yeah, because obviously the flip side move of that is, obviously the flip is very easy. It's true for overcome too. On a miss, your attempt fails in a terrible way. That's pretty straightforward. But let's go. It doesn't essentially matter a heck of a lot except for the effect, which I think is you might still have an overcome coming just to get into the room, but you can at least get the guards on your side if you can go with that. So what's the element for this impress?
That's a great question. Let me
quick
look at the character sheet. I'm gonna say Earth. I'm feeling very focused. To the point of kind of obsession and disdain for anyone who's standing in front of me.
That feels good.
This is an obvious imperative.
I have to hand it to how these guys laid out the elements. It's really
I love that.
It's really quite good.
The guidance for the emotional state and the intent really makes it, because I mean the obvious thing would be like, oh, I'm going to focus on the one thing I'm really good at.
Well, and
and that keeps it from being the case because it gives you something to play against.
Right. It spins off from the veil. If I remember correctly, veil, you're picking emotions. Like, it isn't about like a skill or an element. It's about like, I'm angry right now, so that's what I'm rolling. I think it's an emotional thing. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but it certainly stems from that.
Mm-hmm.
But with a lovely, I think a genius reskin. So, all right, Earth, she is. 8. Okay, so let's look at that. I think I have a pretty good idea. Oh, that's not deal with troops in combat. That's not the move you want.
Not yet.
79. Okay.
Complication
I
or
know the
hard
complication.
choice. Use this move for public gatherings or expression for competition.
The guards seem to hear what you're saying. They're definitely right there and
So I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. Okay, so because I'm looking at the kind of engaging with some specific hearts and minds, but
this isn't somebody specific. This is collectively the guards.
Collectively the guards. Okay.
Right, and I think that's a good hit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not trying to get a guard. So when you act to impress others or succeed in a competition, on a hit you impress and convince them. Pick 2 options: create a bond, clear an element, or gain favor.
Gain a favor.
On the 7-9, the GM will offer you a complication or hard choice. The complication is going to be what's going on here. And that is, let me just flip back to, that is this guy coming in behind you where he had been in a side room, like talking with someone.
I'm sorry, which guy?
Crescent Sword Feng.
We have no humor that we are aware of.
Yeah.
The head guy of the other...
Commander of one of the other villages. Call him, one of the top 5 in charge people kind of deal. Sword at his hip. He's got the full-on curved 9-ring broadsword kind of scenario. If you look up 9-ring broadsword, I think you get the general idea. But he's got one of those numbers. It is an impressive piece of hardware. He's probably like in his 50s, raw boned, I think is the best way to probably describe him. He's not like a big burly guy, but he looks like he's carved mostly out of wood and sinew. And he's scowling down at you. He's a reasonably tall guy. What's going on here? This is the son of the cook, and he says that he's an expert in poison and wants to see the Lord.
Perfect.
And
so for the results of the thing,
yes,
what I want to take, I impress and convince. So I've convinced them. I want to go ahead and take the moment to clear my water element.
Okay, great. Because they believe you. This is,
yes, and I'm feeling a lot of clarity at the moment. So that's, rightly or wrong. I think I'm feeling a lot of clarity. I may be unclear on that, but
see what you did there.
And pick 2 options: create a bond, clear an element, or gain a favor. I'm not sure how to interpret those in the context of trying to convince trying to impress the guards as a collective.
I want to give you a suggestion then.
Please.
If he wasn't poisoned at the food stall, he was poisoned somewhere else or some other way.
Right.
The guards may remember who brought something into the chambers, or otherwise may have an idea of where to go with that.
So, kind of in terms of then gaining a favor to get them to kind of
to cooperate with you in figuring out who actually did this.
So the guards believe that you're an earnest. So gain a favor. So they'll the favor is that they'll speak up at an opportune time.
Right.
You know what you do? Dave? Mechanically, write down a bond that you can then write down a bond with the guards with Aoshi's guards. Write down a bond with Aoshi's guards. Give it a 1, and then you've got that to burn for a +1, and that's them stepping in and saying they're doing something. God damn! I almost sounded like I knew anything about this rule system. Oof! Look at that. Does that make sense? Does that
Sure.
Yeah. Because mechanically, that's what's happening functionally.
Right.
It's a favor. It's also a favor, but it's a bond. And if you wanted to be able to I want these guys to help me. Can I help me get out of this 6? Then yeah, they can.
Right. So the guard introduces me to Crescent Sword
Feng. So I'm supposed to take the son of the man who was already been jailed for treason and let him in to speak with the Lord.
I'm
And
not
how did you even hear
Lord.
about this?
I work in the kitchen. I work with these people all the time, and I have looked at all of the food that was served last night, and it is completely clear of poison, which means somewhere else, someone else has poisoned the Lord. And with my particular skills, I am adept with helping take care of poison.
I think it's Hearts and Minds. Does that sound like Hearts? It's either Hearts and Minds or Overcome. I feel like it's Hearts and Minds.
I'm trying to pressure someone susceptible to my words and say what they're trying. What
You're trying to get him to let you
I'm
in.
trying to get him to let me in.
Yeah. Overcome's
Sure.
kind of a catch-all.
Yeah.
It's kind of
When
a
you do
catch-all for
something under pressure. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, this is clearly Hearts and Minds.
yeah. Overcome's great for everything that isn't these other things. So yeah, why don't you throw Hearts and Minds in there and see what we got?
Okay. Let me see what I want to do that with. With this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and argue fire because this is a passion call.
And he is definitely like I don't know whether he's angry, but he's very tense. He's being very curt. He's being very barky.
Even in the most paranoid of worlds, it makes complete sense for him to be stressed about this.
For sure. All right, so yeah, fire sounds good to me. What we got? It's hung up. It doesn't even say the result. I think you're gonna have to roll again because it didn't even say like what the.
I rolled 2 6s on the dice sitting here in front of me.
Did you?
I did. I don't know why it's not showing.
On the dice sitting in front of you? What do you mean? The virtual?
The 3D dice, yes.
Oh, you have the 3D dice turned on. Oh, okay. I'll believe you.
I will take a...
You don't. Dave.
Like. No.
Dave, you're the godfather of one of my children. I believe you when you say they're 6s, okay? We're good.
I feel obliged.
The question is, how did it... well, it's the 3D dice, Dave. I'll blame them all the time.
Yeah, honestly, those things glitch. I love watching them, but my God, they interfere with rolling in the worst way. Which reminds me that I need to tell people that in this other game I'm starting up, because some people on there haven't used the platform before, and they might want to shut that off. Anyway.
So that would be, that's actually 2 6s and a 1, so it's a 13.
13. Very, very good. Obviously very good.
Excuse me, 2. 14.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
Fire.
All right, so
convince
him with fire. On a 10 plus, they bow to your words and do what you want.
Because you are fiery cow.
Yeah, their options aren't clear there. There aren't really they don't have options.
Well, if they are an NPC,
they bow.
Do what I want.
Let him.
So they don't get to choose something else. So I guess he lets me in.
Let him pass, and he walks. He's going with you, but
of course.
Yes, let him pass. Don't make me look a fool, boy. And you can see there's. I'll say this: half of it's that, more than half. Well over half of it is the fact that you're just plain convincing and earnest. There's a portion of it though that is he would very much like to have this problem go away. He would like it to be solved in a way that is the Lord everything goes back to normal. And if you're offering that particular carrot, he is willing to take a bite.
That is good. Something good to know about him.
Okay, so so the door's open. There's guards in here too. Present in the chamber, a lot of incense. The abbot is not near the bed, but is praying. Who else is in here? Kind of not anybody else. There's some guards.
At first, I think there are a lot of people in here, but it turns out it's just like incense wafting all around the room.
Yeah. The abbot is going crazy with the prayer incense, and the chants and all that kind of good stuff. The abbot's been left in here to sort of watch over Aoshi, but he's not really anywhere near there. Fang stops near the door after the door swings shut, after the guards swing the door shut, and then kind of makes probably an overdone gesture towards the bed, like, by all means, kind of thing. And he steps up like halfway between the door and the foot of the bed, but it doesn't seem like he wants to get too close. Like I don't want to get any coma on me
Right.
thing.
The poison might be catching.
But he does have his hand rather firmly, and it's not his left hand on his sword slung on his left hip. It's his right hand slung on his sword on his left hip.
Ready to draw at any moment.
Yeah, should you suddenly leap at the bed with a deadly pot sticker or something. I don't know, whatever.
Bad news. It wasn't really poison. It's actually the plague.
Now you have to overcome. So what is that? How does that move go? I just want to look at it.
It's very. If someone has been poisoned, you have a +1 forward to treat and heal them with overcome.
Which would basically be an
overcome
thing. But I'm gonna have you do a study first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although, I mean, yeah, my ability to spot poison is sort of like prior to it being consumed.
That's the food. Yeah, you don't just get to
Right.
sniff and
I can spot the food. So yes, I will study, and actually probably studying is going to look a lot like what I was doing with the food as well. So
yeah, don't lick the Lord of the Province. Probably, I wouldn't taste.
Or
it.
do. Figure it out.
Or do.
You know, I think Bao will do what Bao needs to do. So yeah, he will look at him. He will kind of size him up from a distance, try to wave the incense away, get real close.
I like the idea of him just sort of annoyingly swatting at the incense, like that.
This stuff is horrible for the palate, and the sense of smell, which is kind of the idea. But even so, you know, so is the Lord like unconscious?
He's laying perfectly he's in his bed, like he just went into the coma while he was sleeping. So he's in.
Okay, so he's in a coma.
I picture Bao like whipping out his fan and blowing the incense back towards the abbot.
I don't know that Bao. He doesn't have a hand. He doesn't have a.
No,
he doesn't have a fan. He's got like a
way too clumsy. I'm like waving my hands to blow it back towards the abbot.
He's got this.
Your apron, flapping your apron. Yeah.
Where's that miniature that I did up? There's a like. I actually really like this as an extra little, but like the hand towel on the hip under the belt there, like the dish towel. That's just like ready to go. Anyway.
So
all right. You're checking
far away. I check his eye. Yeah, I pull open his eyelids to look at the color.
Yeah. Check the wrist. You know, the chi points.
The chi points. I open his mouth, look at his tongue to see if any of the taste buds in a particular area are just colored or something.
All right. Give me a study roll. I like that though. I like how you're going over it. It's very medical.
I will take that study roll with a I'll roll that with metal.
I believe
kind of
you.
drawing on all of that, that knowledge and information that Father gave me through all those lessons that I really resented because I knew what I know what I'm. Yes, I understand it. Yes, those colors. Yes, in those. Yes, I understand.
I am often struck by how much stuff about farming I know. Finally the number. A 7.
A 7.
A 7.
So on a study,
gain 1.
I study something in order to change the game state.
Well, that's
so
yeah.
I gain the basic information. On 7 and 9, I gain 1. Spend this 1 for one of the following. That's a weird way to put it. Okay. Oh, ask a question about a situation or place.
Yeah, I tell you stuff, and then you can ask these other things.
Oh, you tell me. Okay.
Yeah, he's not poisoned.
Oh.
Or to the best of your knowledge, there is no sign of poison whatsoever. He's sleeping. He's actually, life science speaking, in the absolute he's in the pink of health. Like he is in perfect.
Magic?
He's in perfect health. Honestly, looks better now than he did last night, except for the part where he won't wake up.
Odin sleep.
I was not expecting that comment. And with that, we're going to jump over to the Three Musketeers real quick, or the Warriors 3, I guess, if we're going to stick with that. So,
all right.
You're if you want to be at the doors of Lady Kai's suite.
Is she actually there?
Well, the doors are closed, but I mean, you certainly announce yourself or have yourself announced or whatever.
Yeah. Announce.
All right. So yeah, a little knock. There's a servant. Please announce this to Lady Ning. And he's they know. Hangland. There's a bit of a side eye in Sun's direction. How would you like to be announced?
Zeman and his entourage.
Ha!
It'll cause the least amount of problem, guys. Don't worry. It's nothing personal.
It's just expecting one of Peng's fans, while folded up, to be smacked against the back of your head as soon as the door closes.
I would never do something so
Traceable.
Immediate.
rude
Publicly.
publicly.
Lovely. All right, so you're not immediately admitted. You're not left to wait, but you're definitely the pause is about the. I'm sorry, who the hell did you just say? It's about that long. It's the pause of somebody going, the hell? No, I know who he is. I just can't imagine why he'd be coming here. And then you're admitted. You're brought into sort of like a front sitting room, receiving room kind of thing. The servants, there's like say 2 servants, and one of them disappears into another room while the other one begins preparing tea. And not a minute or two later, Lady Kai comes in. There's a little bit of incense burning in the area. She is honestly, I'm gonna go with oh crap, Michelle Yeoh? No, that's not right. That's not who I'm thinking of. The swordswoman from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Crap, maybe that is terrible with names. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
The
Don't know the name, but
Fiddlesticks. What the hell is her name?
If you're talking about
Michelle Yeoh. It is Michelle Yeoh.
yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you were right the first time.
Well, you really don't. You need to fully grasp exactly how bad I am at names, that I don't trust myself at all. But yeah, let's go with Michelle Yeoh. But Michelle Yeoh, where the makeup department has been instructed, like, show her age. You know, she's in her 50s or so, and she's been a widow for a good long time. I take that back. I'm not sure if she is. She's not even a widow. Spinster, is that the phrase? She is the Lord's.
Unmarried, yeah. That would be.
She is the
spinster.
Lord's.
It's not a very nice term.
Well, sure.
Rude, but
Yeah, she is the Lord's. The Lord Aoshi is a widower. She is the Lord's wife's sister. So Lord Aoshi's sister-in-law. But and you know, a member of the court by virtue of that. But her sister's been gone now for 10, 15 years. So anyway, so she comes in quite graciously. Motions you all to sit, and then sits herself. She seems she carries the same tension that the rest of the court does. You are welcome, although I must admit that your visit is quite unexpected. May I ask the reason?
so Zeman's gonna go full in on the flattery.
Okay.
Like full on, oh no, you ask why a young man would make a visit to a beautiful woman. This is very surprising. Don't play coy.
No, absolutely. So the servant brings the tea, but she pours it, and she allows herself a smile acknowledging, the small smile that acknowledges that, and passes the tea over to each of you. Son, talk to me about how you. I'm assuming the hat's not still on. So are you? Or is it? I don't know. How are you presenting in this kind of an environment? Because you of the 3 of you, you definitely do not fit this particular backdrop painting. Or do you? Do you fall into a physical mannerism that seems to suit the surroundings better? I don't know.
I mean, I think he's just going to pretend to be part of the entourage, like he's a bodyguard or something like that.
So do you even sit? Do you just stay back and stand?
I'll just stay back. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So really just the 2, I see that the stories about you that circle the court are not at all inaccurate.
What stories have you heard? I like to hear these.
Hopefully they were all bad. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Well, you do have a tendency to, You're a duck. You're one of the louder ducks. There's a very loud duck, a mallard, that struts about the grounds and through the ponds and everything. And unlike many of the ducks that move placidly, and you do not see the effort that goes into them moving about the water, this particular duck, while still a very strong swimmer and able to be wherever they like throughout the water and certainly interact with any of the other ducks, tends to leave a wake of muddied water. wherever they go, and one can only assume that the paddling that all the ducks engage in to keep them moving about is much more vigorous, for all that it is not easily visible.
Well, it's certainly the most kind comparison I've ever, or has ever been made to me with an animal.
She allows you another small smile, and you get that there's actually maybe a bit of humor there. The tea is very good. While I appreciate the sentiment, I cannot help but think that you would not have brought a friend and a bodyguard for something as simple as a social call, regardless of the woman. And perhaps I misunderstand, but I've never heard that you bring a bodyguard on any of your visits to any of the men or women that you come to see. So it seems as though there might be something.
Ah, yes.
So get to the point.
Well,
Love you, dear. You're cute, but get to the point.
Yep. And that is when Zeman will get to the point and basically just be like, so as I understand it, as I've been paddling around the pond here, that there's a particular duck trying to worm its way into your nest.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? This is Zeman. We'll drop names. Yep. Lady Suning.
She sets the teacup down with a click onto the little plate. Blue jay, she corrects, and then says, "Go on."
Oh yes, the ones that put their eggs into other nests. Good comparison.
Something like that. I mean, it may not be the right bird, but off we go.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Some equivalent, but yes, definitely the sense of like, didn't cuckoos do that, or some other bird that does that too?
And I'm sure there is a bird that
Yes.
is going to be culturally relevant.
Right.
That we
Autobahn,
can use
roll
as an
out.
example.
Audubon. Audubon.com. Off we go. Anyway,
Transform and roll out.
and your interest in this duck?
Well, as I understand it, Lady Suning is trying to ensure a good and upstanding marriage for her daughter. Possibly to one of Lord Yoshi's sons. And I'm here to represent her husband, her current husband. And he did not like that idea.
She's doing, once again, I got an NPC doing math in their head. And I assume that the Honorable Pen Lang is here because of his own vested interests in the royal son?
No, I'm here to vouch for Zeman. With
Can
a
you
slightly
say that
pained
without
expression.
grimacing?
Yeah, I like how those words just crawled their way out of
I'm
it.
here to vouch for Zeman. God, that hurt. Oh. Anyway, she gives you a bit of an appraising look. Really? Well, if you say so. She clearly doesn't believe that you're not here because of Gunlon being potentially under threat of a shotgun wedding. But, So, yes, go ahead.
Nothing. I mean, there's nothing I can say to her to prove one way or another. So.
Well, no, yeah, I'll be honest. I was mostly throwing that out there in case you wanted, in case you wanted to have some like bigger reaction and an inner conflict about the thing, because apparently your relationship with Gunlan is still a matter of much conjecture in the court.
Well,
This
especially
is
after
why I
last night.
left the court. Zeman.
And yet here you are once again.
Every time you try to get out, they pull you back in.
They pull you back in.
By they, do you mean Zeman?
Yes.
Yes, me. I did it.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You and I are going to have a talk.
Well, don't have relationships with people who are important to my schemes.
Everyone is important to your schemes.
Not simultaneously. And only retroactively.
All right. So, yeah. She'll let it be, but she definitely gives you that look that says she doesn't really believe your denial. And yeah, you're left. The problem is you are a bit left at a bit of an impasse with that because you really don't have a good way to prove one way or the other that that's true without.
Especially
Go ahead.
not while being obliquely talking about things of love and scandal and everything.
Right.
So
Yes. Yeah.
here we are.
You would have to be much more direct than you're comfortable being to make that work. And direct is just not done. Well, she's certainly. So your purpose in coming here is. Are you looking for a gamesman of some sort?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Like the guy in charge of like the hunting on the Lord's lands kind of thing. I think is where I was going with that. But
Gamekeeper?
Gameskeeper. There you go. You're looking for.
What I'm looking for is anything I can do to throw off Annie Suning's plans right now for the foreseeable future.
Tempting.
That's like, you want this to.
I think I know I want it. I'm not even. On the one hand, I want you to roll hearts and minds because I want to see. I more want to roll hearts and minds to. Yeah, I'm going to have you roll.
I'm perfectly fine rolling.
I'm definitely going to have you roll, but I think it's not so much about whether it's a yes or no. It's about like who's sort of calling the shots with this. Whether you're about to ally yourself with her or she's about to ally herself with you.
Whether I'm going to be a cat's paw or a co-conspirator.
Exactly. I think that's what it kind of boils down to, if that's acceptable.
All right.
No, Zeman makes such a cute cat's paw.
We're rolling the water.
As long as the claws get trimmed regularly.
Not what I needed to hit. Ooh, man, your dice are hot tonight. Hot.
Keep me in my element, and I'll keep doing what I do.
Okay. Yeah, for yeah, that's gonna be good. Yeah, they bow to yours. I almost want the 7 and 9. It's so much. There's so many interesting things happening in there, but that's fine.
Too bad.
No, as you actually, she doesn't say that. Because the assumption is there that at least you're going to pretend that you don't already know this, but I have a history with this particular creature that leaves me inclined to assist you with this as much as possible.
Excellent. I knew I was looking for the right.
What? And she actually steps over you on that to say this. What means do they mean to undertake? What method do they mean to undertake to free the girl from her obligations as a married woman?
I don't have that information quite yet. But I know this much. Suning is plotting with the abbot.
Really? The abbot is not a complicated man. He's not a
Player?
plotter. He's not a plotter.
He too might be a cat's paw, but I can't say one way. Sorry.
Everybody shut off their Amber Alert.
Why would?
Yep.
That's interesting. I didn't get one. Weird.
Slightly out of area, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, probably. I conspiring with the abbot, but to what end? Do they seek an annulment?
As I understand it, they're planning to have him declared dead under some pretense.
The abbot couldn't do that unless he had some sort of death certificate proof.
Or a body.
Well, believe me, there's no body.
I can guarantee you that they do not have the dead body of her husband.
Dead? No. Body? There is technically a body, and it is here. But,
Well, we don't have much to go on, and if she's only allied with the abbot, that doesn't leave us. I think we need to throw a rock in the pond, and there's been a fairly large rock dropped already.
What's that?
My brother-in-law is ill.
Oh.
And everyone will be primarily concerned with that. It's going to be difficult for her to...
Jokingly, have they blamed the kitchen staff?
Oh, yes. The head chef accused of poisoning. Treason. The whole thing. She says absently, as she said.
Meanwhile, internally, Zeman's just like smiling. It's just like, I knew it.
So what she says is, there's going to be pressure within the court to marry. The marriage will be received received very well by the court if it can be made legal, unless there are complications.
Well, I recommend we complicate the hell out of this.
If you are here to help Zeman, to help your friend, she says to Pang, I need you to drop a stone very, very close to Gunlan. That will be believed very easily by the rest of the court, given your history. Now do you want an inner conflict? Practically handing out XP here.
That sounds like an inner conflict right there.
Depends upon what kind of bomb he wants. She wants.
Well, I mean,
Oh no.
anything where it's like I need you to go talk to Gunlan is probably going to be kind of pretty close to the mark. But I need you to muddy the waters having to do with Gunlan being available for a wedding is
Yeah.
a stone of a very
Please
specific
respond,
shape.
I want you to die.
So yeah, inner conflict is roll anything but your style element.
Well, mark XP.
Mark XP. Yes, correct. Get that in the
And-
right order.
That dings me.
All right.
So I need to do something about that.
Yep.
And then I need to roll something.
Yep. As she is asking you to basically go and complicate matters with Gunlan in a way that the court will notice. Like drop a stone in the pond is. I will translate that to you need to
Make a
complicate.
scene.
You need to complicate things with Gunlan to the point where things look less useful.
Cut and dry.
Yeah.
Oh damn it! I was forgetting it can't be my
Oh yeah. You have to.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, that could totally work.
Why didn't it come up? I didn't even see that.
No, I didn't roll.
Oh,
That was,
it
that
was
Discord.
that was Dave saying time to check. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Alright.
sorry.
No, it's all right.
He wasn't even using the dice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so not metal.
I could have spun metal so well.
That's what
You don't get to use your control, your calculation, reflection, and that's always been the problem with Gunline. He just wrecks that for you.
So, also, James, I've now broken my promise to you that you wouldn't have to talk to Gun.
Yeah.
Somebody
Ah,
else is
you're
making
right.
you do it.
If someone is making you break it, yeah.
You,
You
don't
you
have-
still blame
wait.
him. He brought you here.
no, wait. You don't have to talk to him. Just
Yeah,
I feel like it's
Oh,
broken
Bill.
enough at this point.
Oh, Bill, you don't have to talk to him. Some things are beyond words.
It's
So,
his presence. I'm going with wood.
Okay.
Ooh, swing and a miss.
Oh, lordy.
All right, time to pull that
Um,
back up.
perhaps spin that bond that you just got with me.
Oh, to make it not a absolute wreck, so
Yeah,
the GM doesn't make it worse.
yeah. Or
You know
don't.
the size of stone that you need to make is a marriage engagement. No.
Yeah, I'll just to throw a little like gasoline on the fire is something like it needn't be something flagrant. A shouting match similar to the one that happened in preparation for the court would be sufficient. Although it would definitely help if he was seen as unavailable romantically.
Yeah, because
That's always been his
poking
thing.
any.
Nudge, wink, wink.
Peng Lang is like, yeah, it'd be nice if he was romantically unavailable to more people. Jeez. Anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah, you could spend the bond to just kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll
Zeman,
go for that.
how do you step into the line of fire enough to give Peng time to get somewhat under control, or at least control the whole
Doesn't
thing?
necessarily have to be that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Remember, in this game, it's just, Ping Ling could be just like savoring the idea of, and soon I will get to punch Zeman. Soon I will get to punch Zeman.
Yeah. So how do you see this happening? Does Zeman actually help? Like see the look on your face and step in the way, or are you just like focusing all of your I am going to have revenge for this and I've decided Zeman's going to be the one later?
there's also something that Sun can do to interact with the lady and give her some information while this is going on, if that helps.
That's totally fine. What do you think? Are you gonna leave or take a
I'm
market element?
gonna mark an element, and I'm trying to decide between metal control or wood patience, because there's not much of either of those right now.
Yeah, I like the idea of wood because that would probably, if that's marked, probably you're just gonna go, well, okay, fine. If I need to do this, I'm just gonna go and do it, and
Yeah.
that kind of gets you aimed in the right way. But while he's sort of getting control of yourself, son, what's happening there?
I feel like the lady is going to be a good ally here. I think she's owed something for her assistance. I'm not really going to break character as bodyguard, and there might be people listening. But what I can do is strike the Jia family stance. Silent Sun's real identity, and I posted this on the forums, is Jiahua. He is the scion of this family. They have a very distinctive martial art, like it's a strong external style, kind of like Tiger Kung Fu.
Okay.
And anyone who saw this, who kind of knew the family, would recognize this because they'd like done exhibitions and all kinds of stuff. So what he is revealing to the lady is his identity by just silently adopting this stance and just kind of showing her like the form that only a family member would really know.
Sort of in reaction to her saying that she's going to go on board with this, and you kind of strike this stance and like response to that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then he'll just go back to how he normally is.
How she reads it, she doesn't give much away in terms of how she reads it. She might simply read it as you are clearly a member of that household and therefore a retainer allied with this whole thing, or she may read it deeper than that. It depends on how much she knows about the particular situation with Su Ning.
I'm kind of trusting that if she's an enemy of Su Ning, she knows what's up.
Or Su Wen, I should say. Yeah, there's an interesting thing. There's a study opportunity here if you've got any kind of curiosity about what their background might be. You only know that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if he isn't, I am.
I could say I'd throw water, but I'll go for fire because I feel like this is more of a creativity and speed kind of thing.
Sure.
See where that goes.
Sure.
There we go.
Oh, wait, let me look. Stepping away. It's the problem with pacing around the room. All right, so
on a 7 to 9, gain 1 hold, spend hold.
Yeah.
Rather than asking a question, can I just reveal a detail and declare something that like she's picked up on my identity?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
She is not. Say a little bit more about your family. Like, what's their role, sort of within the larger empire? What are they known for?
Oh, that's in the forum post too. Huh.
Sorry about that. I didn't see I didn't see that post went up. I must have missed it. I've been watching, but I missed that one.
I put it in the Discord for that reason.
Gotcha.
They're well off, but not wealthy. Most of their power comes from the lands they control. So they are basically the patrons of farmers and people who just kind of work the land. They keep them safe. They take in the taxes and all that kind of stuff. They're not really like feudal knights, but they serve kind of a similar function of like, we make sure everything is smoothly running here. The peasants work the lands that we run, and then we pay them back by keeping them safe.
Okay. What you'll see about, you'll definitely see that, as you say, she definitely recognizes. Are you saying that she recognizes that you are who you are, or just that you're associated with the family? All right, all right.
She will recognize me as Yahweh. So I am the husband. I'm the one who's been missing. So she knows for a fact now that this person who might be being declared dead soon is in fact not only alive but present.
The way that she signals that she recognizes you is that she pours another cup of tea and brings it to you, and then gives a little bit of a nod and returns. Her reaction to your stance thing is not the reaction of a fellow martial artist or a fellow master of wuxia, although she does recognize the form. It's different than that. She is skilled in some way, but not as like a fellow master of wuxia.
She's not a practitioner of the martial arts. She's just a fan.
It's different than that. You're not, given your background, you're not really able to put your finger on what it is. She clearly recognizes you, but she doesn't have the same kind of motions that would indicate to you that she is a wuxia master or something like that.
Okay, sounds good.
So there's a bit of a question mark there, but she's definitely very quick on the uptake.
So she knows wuxia when she sees it, even if she's not a practitioner.
Yeah, for sure. Door's still open for you, Zeman, if you want a little bit more there, like what, any clues about her just in general or anything like that. Learning more about your ally.
Yes, we're gonna do that. And you know what? I'm continuing to feel the water here.
Okay, lay in there. Your intuition, your feel, your whatever. Oh man, your dice. Holy moly, man. All right.
Yeah. Based on what I've learned here, this conversation and these veiled comments, why does she not like Su Ning?
Why does she not like Su Ning? She talks about her like an enemy, like a rival, somebody that she has fought before. This is the you're coming in and talking to a general about a former like field commander from the other side of the battlefield, which doesn't track with her. It isn't until you start kind of looking around and just picking up a few things. Now, Zeman is a well-traveled person. He's been in a lot of different provinces, seen a lot of different places, gotten a few misadventures. Is that all fair to say?
That is very fair to say.
She's a sorceress. Little bits and pieces of stuff arranged in various points around the room and stuff like that. Yeah, she's a sorceress.
All right. All the better reason that we make allies with her.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, some kind. You don't know two things past that, except generally speaking, not to screw with them. But either she is faking it like a proper fortune teller kind of deal, or she isn't, and you can't imagine why she would need to fake it. Also, just doesn't feel like she is. You still have your questions there. Just throw those out there, or your points.
I figured that was one of them.
Okay,
Because
sure.
it was
It's kind of a big
question
one.
about a person's motives.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. And
Yeah.
the flip back on that is if that's the rivalry thing, that means that's what Suning is too.
I hadn't picked up on that, but now I have, and now I'm even more worried.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
Which goes back to Margie and her character's like super Wiggins when she was interacting with Suning early on, if you recall that, Margie.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that kind of goes back around over there. So you got witches from enemy province or opposing different provinces. Say witches, sorceresses. Hold that other one around if you want. But yeah,
I was about to say, I'm writing down that I have the other hold. I can't think of it. Like,
by all means.
You gut punched me here, Doyce. I mean, what
It's like,
do you follow that up with?
Oh, good. I just made an alliance with the sorceress, a secret sorceress, apparently, because literally, you've never heard the tiniest whisper. And honestly, if this was a 7 to 9, it would be, and she knows that you know. So you're honestly thanking your lucky stars that she doesn't seem to have twigged on to the fact that you've detected this, because you've never heard even a drunken rumor about something like that. You've heard rumors about her, not that.
All right. Well,
we got about 3 minutes left. So Margie, do you want an inner conflict as you collapse on the bench?
Well, I actually also have a move. So,
Oh, what's the move? Tell me more.
Proud student.
Oh, what is that?
So when I seek the guidance of an elder, either in the present or in a flashback, tell them the challenge that you face and roll. And then different
I see
things
where you're
on the
going.
hit, etc.
I don't see any reason why you can't hit with both of those, honestly, though, because
Okay.
this big realization could be the inner conflict, but there's no reason that because you have already said. So let's begin with the thing where because you've been asking her like what to do. You were rolling right into
that.
That
was the last. I don't know what to do. Yep.
Right. So let's go with the. Do you need to roll for that?
It says. Present. Tell them the challenge you face and roll, and then it just says on a hit this on a.
Gotcha. So it is a roll. Pick your appropriate element, and it's interesting to me because Sister Jen really isn't, physically speaking, numerically speaking, she's not your elder. You've approached her as such, and she's the mom friend to a certain extent, but she's definitely gives you a lot of advice, and you see her as sort of that advice. But she isn't a lot older than you. She's older than you, but not a lot older than you. But you put her in that position.
I'm sure she's not, a. I was gonna say Anjali, but that's not quite.
No, she's not.
What's the?
She's not as naive as you are. You kind of cornered the market on that. By virtue of the playbook, but it's one of those things where she can give really good advice on this kind of stuff, unless it's for her, in which case she's an idiot. But all right, so yeah, let's give her a roll. I want to look at this on your character sheet while you're picking your poison.
I'm gonna go with fire. Oh wait a minute, I can roll anyone on this.
You can roll anything on this one, yeah.
Okay, then I'll roll wood.
Okay, on a hit they tell you what to do.
Angry is the perfect foil for not listening. Oh, wow.
Look at your 11.
That's okay. I still can fail my...
So the problem that you presented to her is that you have this person that you're very much interested in, and you don't know... Yeah, there's just all this stuff going on, and you just don't know what to do. And
well, especially with the whole, Prince getting involved, and oh my gosh, what did I do to deserve this?
But you were talking about...
I was happy mooning about all on my own. I don't need this.
You were talking about Sue Wen,
Mm-hmm.
and she was okay. All right. So I think you have already found your best ally in this. If you are drawn to this person, speak with them. Find out, work with them. If you are truly meant to be, then fate will assist you both. And then it will be 3 against the world instead of 2. Speak with them. And then she'll follow, because, we already had the thing where you class the thing. And as far as the fact that Hui Gong has become utterly enamored of you, probably best to confront him as well. And simply, speak truth to him. I think he is a straightforward enough soul that he will respect that. And that's what, and in saying that is, he's always been a very good boy, and he controls his emotions so well that when he feels one so strongly, it tends to sweep him up. Give it a moment for the water to rush past, for the flash flood to rush past, and then he will be able to hear you more clearly. But you should speak to him as well. I think he will be.
What is her hidden connection to the problem?
I'm sorry?
What is her hidden connection to the problem?
I missed that part of the thing. Revealed it. Oh! On the 10 plus, they reveal their secret connection to the problem. Oh, she is absolutely head over heels in love with Gunlan. She is absolutely infatuated with him.
Fortunately, I don't have that problem.
So, yeah, she's right in the whole mix there because, he's one of the royal sons with the marriage thing, and Hui Gong's the brother, and But yeah, she is 100% all in on Gunlan, and it just doesn't have any idea what to do about it. And there's a really good chance that Gunlan doesn't realize it. Although, yeah, here you go.
Alrighty.
Just in case you need another rock to throw in the muddy pond, there's always this nun.
I mean, we can work with that.
Alrighty.
I didn't do much prep, but I did make a nice collection of absolute emotional disasters for y'all to play with. You're welcome.
We're all good with that. So then the other was a conflict?
If you think it's worth it, I mean,
conflict?
technically it's not part of your entanglements, but the idea of her presenting the whole Hui Gong to you thing unexpectedly might be a shock.
Well, that, and then combine that with the whole idea of actually talking to somebody about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I may not be getting that +1. Or maybe checking XP and cowering in the dark.
Yeah,
Trying
I
to use
mean,
an RT.
it's great. Giving you that +1 for the talks and stuff is great if you can manage to do it. Well, let's find out what you do then. Let's take the inner conflict and we'll wrap up with that on you rushing out of the churchyard or.
Yeah, I'm gonna use water for that one because awareness, wisdom,
Sure.
uncertainty, depression.
Mark XP, first of all, and then you got the 8.
Okay.
So that is either mark an element. I would say water if you didn't have it, something else that leapt out of you. Either mark an element or once again rush out.
I'll mark an element.
Okay.
The waterworks will come.
There you go. Water
say.
begets water. I love it. Water begets water.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. We're 5 past, and I don't want to go late or anything like that. But so everybody should. With that, just circling back to Dave one more time. Yes, definitely. This person is not poisoned. And since Margie said it, I will give the guard in the room this man has not been poisoned, and one of the guards is like, magic?
Well, I was gonna say that as with what I rolled on the study, I can reveal a detail to kind of establish something.
You would need somebody else to be sort of to verify, but you could certainly say something like it really couldn't be anything else but magic. You need
I was going to say some sort of magical tell that I've noticed.
Oh, okay, sure.
So
go ahead.
Yeah.
Bill? No, go ahead. I want to hear what you got.
Oh, I'm kind of riffing a little bit off of Margie's comment about the Odin sleep, which is, there is a slight, once you brush away enough of the incense in the air, there is a slight shimmer in the air around Aoshi that is clearly magical and is not incense.
I'd say that's about given your background, I think that's about as much as you would be able to detect. And it's really kind of a particular, it's like how you can only see like dust motes in a particular kind of light from the window, and they're otherwise invisible. Like they're not always there.
It's almost as if the incense is masking the signs of that, he says, looking over at the abbot.
And the abbot, hearing all of this sort of thing, turns to Crescent Sword Fang and said, if you allow me, Commander, I can lend my expertise in mystical things to determine if this is actually true, whatever is affecting our Lord, and we'll leave it with the abbot's offer.
Don't trust that abbot.
What the abbot saw. This sounds like a
Well,
mystery book.
I will be a Costello to him.
All right, so go and take a look at.
Uh,
Everyone, take a look at. Oh my God, that's terrible. Everyone, take a look at your entanglements. I think if the stuff was for Sun or something like that, if things are being discussed in your presence, certainly, there's a lot of discussion going on about Su Wen. Granted, you're not right there in front of it, but I certainly feel like it's right there in front of you, and a little bit of exposure about your real self. Speak your truth, kind of stuff. So
I skipped on the romantic entanglement, but I definitely hit the general one, so I took that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, and
I think mine's the opposite. I took the romantic and not the general.
I feel as like with Gunland on the way, James and all the brothers potentially getting into a whole bunch of a political mess going on here. I think G's on your way, but I'm sorry I didn't get that happening this time.
That's fine.
Partly because you guys got through the gate before G got up there, so there wasn't that conflict at the gate kind of a thing. As things get heated, I think that's definitely going to come to blows. It's a kung fu movie. We should probably have some kung fu in it pretty soon. Anyway, but yeah, definitely take a look at your entanglements. Mark XP is appropriate. Please take your advances.
Yeah.
Dave.
I just got mine.
That's fair.
So, how entangled do we have to get entangled?
What are you asking?
Basically, I was told that the kitchen staff is being investigated about the Lord's
Sure, yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, aha, I knew it. Bao comes from a dishonorable family. They're assassins.
I think that's fine. Yeah, go for it. I don't want to. I'm not trying to be hardcore about it. Especially, just do me the favor of leaning into that and like bringing that to Lee. Like, clearly not to be trusted. And
yeah. Sure, there's my next step.
I have a delicious to-do list.
Congrats, son. I helped you out. I got my own shit to take care of now.
I have to tell you, given that she's never read the books or played the game, I have to tell you this. I was talking to my wife one night while I was like kind of sketching out the NPCs and stuff like this, and kind of talking it out loud and she looks at me and Kate looks at me and goes, so it's an Amber Throne War. And I just took all the air out of me because I was getting like, it's all this stuff and the thing. And she goes, so it's an Amber Throne War. I'm like, God, fine. Maybe. Good old Amber Throne War. No reaction, Dave? None whatsoever?
Honestly, I mean, you mentioned this as a system that could run Amber in previous discussions.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
It was mostly the scale. I feel like the scale, I don't know that I would necessarily use this system as straight up, but the scale thing I thought would work really well in like an Amber game, just for like being able to say, because honestly the whole mechanics are there, like everything in Amber where it's like, okay, this person is way better than me, how do I beat them? Like the mechanics in this game for someone is 1 or 2 steps of scale higher than me, how do I go through there's a mechanical thing in place for acquiring the pieces that you need to get them down to your scale. And it's very much clearly delineating the process for the thing that happens in Amber anyway, when it's like, well, we need to beat Benedict, but you can't beat Benedict, so how do we beat Benedict?
Right.
But no, she wasn't talking about the system at all. It was, and that's actually the first time that I thought about the scale thing when she said this, because I was explaining all these NPCs I was so happy with, and then she's like, so it's a throne war. And I'm like, I hate you a little bit right now. Anyway, I have nothing else to say except to thank my players for being awesome, because you guys are awesome. So there you go. That's all I got. Who is leveled? Who is leveled?
I leveled.
The entire consortium and Mike. What about you, Bill? How close are you?
I'm 3. I took my first advance last time. I'm now 3 of 8.
Oh, right. So everyone, yay! Everyone's eyeing the advancements.
Yep.
Delicious.
Speaking
Delicious.
of,
Yes, sir. I'm gonna stop recording.